Iceborne! Please! Please, Raging Brachy! We need you! I need you! Come to me! Come to me, slime! Damn it! Yeah!
Hello, my fellow hunters, and I'm just a little tiny bit excited, maybe, about the idea that, you know, Raging Brachydios might be on his way to Iceborne! And this is not just me wishing it so. It's not just me being hopeful. I would say it is very, very likely. In fact, more likely than any other monster. Except Rusted Kushaladora, but let's be honest, nobody even really wants normal Kushaladora, so does anyone even care about Rusted Kushaladora? Yeah, I didn't think so. So why doth I be believing this? And why also be I starting to talk like a pirate? Well, the answer to the first question is this video. The answer to the second question is personal. Raging Brachydios, then, the best version of the best monster, and no, I'm not biased at all. He is full of potential, already the best variant, the most explosive in every sense of the word, and the most rife for being a full-on challenge to, well, challenge us. Yes, we could end up with Furious Raging, but at the same time, Raging was already pumped to the nines with new little tricks, speed, and difficulty that going to Furious wouldn't really make too much sense. He got his moment, right? I feel like, oh man, we're getting Raging, and then a few months later, oh man, we're getting harder Raging. Isn't exactly the most exciting thing in the world, now is it? And then of course that leaves, well, perhaps a variant for an existing new Iceborne monster, and don't get me wrong, a variant of Namiel, like Stealth Namiel! You know, would be really sweet, but at the same time, I can't see them instantly varianting up brand new monsters when there is something like Raging Brachydios sat there in the wings ready to be explored, because Brachydios is a very cool monster. He has one of the most interesting biologies of them all, his symbiotic relationship with literally explosive slime that reacts with his shell and saliva to create a deadly duo dancing daringly is a phenomenal idea. You have this monster with one hell of a near impenetrable shell, with one hell of a speed and combat nuance, with one hell of a, well, punch on him that has one of the most eclectic, intense, ballet-esque fights. It's really back and forth with Brachy. He doesn't stop. He is very much on his own place amongst the brute wyverns. He's not as big, stompy as they tend to be. He is the more agile, well, boxer. He actually has a little bit of something that really steps him out from his chunkier, more earth-shaking brethren. Not only do you have to avoid his calamitous melee attacks, you have to think about how he's constantly painting the environment around you in slowly ticking time bombs in the form of puddles of slime. And the fact that Brachydios got Super Blast Blight this time around to honor him being the father of the blast status takes some serious rolling to get rid of it compared to your normal blast powder. That tells me that whole mechanic isn't surely just for Brachy, that we might have another, well, Raging Brachy to also apply that to you. That just seems like good use of assets right there. Because as much as I do love Brachydios, he is my favourite monster, I can't help but feel the version in Iceborne is a little bit disappointing. Disappointing. Don't get me wrong, it's still beautiful to see him realize like this, but he kind of has just fallen away to the background to me, and that's to me who adores him. He's tier 2, so he doesn't get farmed that much in investigations, he doesn't get farmed that much for augments, his armor doesn't get used despite having the secret of arguably the most potent offensive skill outside of pure affinity in the entire expansion. His weapons don't get used, they don't even get used by weapons that want a blast build, despite him being the quintessential blast monster. He kind of just made a, hello, it's me, Bracky, wanna watch me kill an Uragon? Haha, I did it, goodbye now! And then that's basically all we saw of him for, well, until now. And to me, the only reason that could be acceptable, the only way I could stomach that just disservice to his slime majesty, as if they knew all along that Raging Bracky was going to be put in. And even when you look at his weapon trees, it supports this. It ends at rare 11. They're really not that good. Like, I saw them and just...
My disappointment is immeasurable, and my day is ruined.
And that's really such a crying shame. So taking that green slimy greatsword, upgrading it to rare 12 with the more orange-red slime look, actually giving it some decent raw, and then going mental with the blast, that's what I need to see. That is what I would use. And I really, really would. If I could viably get away with using Raging Bracky's greatsword, even if it's a bit worse than Safi or whatever happens to replace him someday, as they maybe add a black dragon later on, then I am going to. Whereas right now, base Brachydios is like hitting things with a wet, slimy, rolled up sheet of paper, and I'm just not about that life. So I want him, and I think he has, well, the template there to be expanded upon, because we get this extra layer of weaponry equipment that suddenly is worth farming, a monster that is ungodly fun to fight, and it makes sense from Capcom's use of time and resources perspective, because the foundation is already set, and he's coming as a pair of variants, so they both make each other look better by the fact that we're getting two at once, so you can't just be disappointed it's, oh, it's only a new Bracky, or oh, it's only a new Kushala, it's, oh, we get one of each, and that helps as well. It makes so much crystal clear sense to me that I can't stop myself from feeling genuine hype and excitement, and I might end up being bitterly disappointed, but I don't know, I really have hope.
Don't give me hope.
Because there's no doubt in my mind that Raging Bracky might well end up the most fun fight in Iceborne. He is much larger than a normal Bracky, and therefore quite a bit slower, but everything that he does, well, packs a punch. And it would give a actual super attack to Brachydios, because all of the variants have got some big holy Christ signature move, and normal Bracky has his random explosions everywhere around him, which is actually something Raging Bracky brought to the table, so to me that implies they have something very special for what he's going to do. And the idea of him, for example, pulling a Seething Basil, where he just spreads his scales everywhere around him before going up for a nuke, but each one is a slime puddle, modify it slightly of course, so it's not just a copy but with slime, but that kind of thing, just coating the arena in slime so that no matter what you do, you're almost just decimated by it. Almost like a Lunastra Nova, but instead of a wave of heat, it's a wave of slime. Like, goddamn, Raging Brachydios is near immortal. He has an organ called an immortal reactor. He uses the waste product of the slime on him to regenerate his cells. And only a few Raging Brackies ever get to become it. They go searching for this ultra-potent slime mold found deep in volcanoes, and most of them get killed by it because they're just not tough enough. We need these unstoppable forces of nature. And another thing is, Raging Brachy has the kind of same mechanic as Black Veil Valhazak. When you get close to his spore, like puffy, hairy patches on his body, they and send jets at you that damage you. If you go near Raging Brachy's arms, his leg, his tail, his side, the slime will react to you being there and localize, explode, and send you careening away. It's like an automatic defense system. So seeing that actually put into Iceborne on him would be fantastic. You get this different tempo of Brachy that's more threatening, but almost easier to read. But if you do get hit, you're going to be feeling it many times over compared to normal. And seeing that stomp round the guiding lance, stomp round the recess, I mean, look, let me ask you a question. Would Raging Brachy be the most incredible thing ever to happen to Iceborne? So if you answered anything other than yes to that, well, then I only have this for you.
Uh-oh, time for our You Were Wrong song. You were wrong, you were mistaken. Faces aren't bones and heads are shaking. You tried your stupid best, you took a stupid guess. You were wrong, you were wrong, you were wrong. Yes, you were wrong, to put it kindly. Apparently you were just stabbing blindly. Shooting in the dark, you really missed the mark. You were wrong, you were wrong, you were wrong.
So I hope you learn from your mistakes. So that's basically what I have to say, guys. Out of all the possibilities in all the Monster Hunter world, there is, to me, Rusted Kashala in the #1 spot firm. But Raging Brachy after that, I mean, everything is in place for that to happen. It works on every level, it adds meaningful content, it adds a stern challenge, it adds something truly fun, it actually rescues a flagship that everyone loves from being sort of forgotten within the game, and really, I also would love it, so thank you, please! Let me know your thoughts, guys. Let me know what you think. We're going to find out very soon as it happens. But until we do, until then, come on, Raging Brachy! Like if you enjoyed this, subscribe for more. A goodbye.
Rage Gaming with the video float.
But that's all that's really relevant at the mo, but I'm still gonna leave this up so you patrons know that I love you even though the outro's no longer that kind of relevant. But the new one's being worked on and it's gonna be a truly badass song, and don't worry, I won't be doing any rapping on it. I'm gonna go now. This was shit.